Hi everyone, welcome back to Dozen Cats Wellness Tarot. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a great start to your day wherever you may be. Happy Saturday to everybody. This is the wellness reading and this is for the week ahead. I thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I truly appreciate the support. As always, my readings are meant to provide you with some pep in your steps, some food for thought, some gentle guidance, something to help you as you navigate along your path. These are general readings, so if it resonates, claim it. If it doesn't, leave it behind. For today's reading, we have Sacred Destiny Oracle, the Empath Empowerment Oracle, the Crystal Intention Oracle, and the Sea Soul Journey Oracle, as well as the Herdcrafter Tarot. So we're just going to push these off to the side. So in our last couple of readings, we've really got this sort of general theme, this general message coming through that encourages us to take time to get quiet, to be open and embrace clear thinking. So I've been in that spot many times, as I'm sure most of you have. How do we decipher the thoughts that come in when we are in that moment of clear thinking? Sometimes we could have the floodgates open and there's a abundance of thoughts coming in. And we end up walking away from that time possibly more confused than we were beforehand. And so how do we decipher what is important in that moment? Which thought do we act on? How do we sort those thoughts out? That's what today's reading is about. Because it can be overwhelming if it isn't a practice that you are normally used to, where you are doing some introspection, where you are opening yourself up to have this dialogue with yourself, and all of these things start popping into your head. It's hard to know where to start, where to end, what to file away for future reference, and what to discard and what to keep, what seems important and what doesn't. It can be very overwhelming, and that is not the point of this exercise. So let's ask Spirit today to help us decipher which thoughts we pay attention to and which thoughts we hold off on. We're going to start with the Sacred Destiny Oracle. When I was first diagnosed with anxiety panic disorder, I had so many thoughts in my head that the concept of being quiet or being open to hearing my thoughts, to acknowledging my thoughts, what scared the what out of me. My thoughts were fast and furious. They would float in and float out and then come back a bit. And it was extremely overwhelming. And the more overwhelmed I got, the more fearful I became. Because somehow I was aware enough to know that I wasn't able to prioritize, to decipher as I once could, right? Instead of, figuring out, okay, this is a priority and I need to go over here first and then I'm going to swing over here. I didn't seem to be able to have that ability in that time frame or in that time period. And so just the knowing that, or the feeling that I couldn't do that, would cause me great amounts of stress, which would only increase my anxiety, which then of course would filter down to a whole lot of negative thinking, which would then filter down even further into a whole host of self-sabotaging behaviors and thought patterns. So we have trust. One of the hardest things there is to do, it seems, when it comes to ourselves. If we went to our best friend or a doctor, a therapist, and we asked them, hey, what do you think I should do? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings about this? I mean, we went to them, which means that we trust them, right? We've asked for their help. We've asked for their support. We've asked for their opinion, which means we value that. But somehow we second guess ourselves. And so the start to being open to hearing those thoughts in that moment of self introspection and self reflection is to trust that whatever comes in is okay, that we are going to be okay, that we can handle it, we've got it, all of those things. One of my therapists, because I've had many over the years, suggested to me in that moment where I was creating the time and the space to invite that clear thinking, was to imagine a box, my favorite colors, my favorite patterns. And when a thought came in, to acknowledge the thought and put it in the box. Which sort of took the responsibility off of my shoulders that I needed to act or I needed to do something about the thought, right? That box was there holding all of my thoughts safe. They were protected. And I could access it at any time when I was ready. Just as a helpful hint for anyone who may be in that same sort of pattern. But Spirit is suggesting that we trust. Trust ourselves, trust our thoughts. I think as human beings, we want to be able to figure out what it means, right? Self-reflection, introspection, going inside, trying to find a path forward, trying to find out an answer to a question, whatever it may be. In that moment, when that thing comes, when that message arrives, when that thought pops into your head, you're like, I must react, I must do, right? That's not necessarily what this is. It's being open to your thoughts. The reacting and the acting upon the thought, that comes after the introspection. The introspection is the opening of the book, right? We're scanning the pages here. The book report comes after, when we're gathering our thoughts and figuring out how we're going to take inspired action, how we're going to apply those to our life, to our daily routines. So now we're going to move to the empath empowerment deck. And I love this deck. It's so unique. Sorry, I have my light on above my camera, so if there's a glare, I apologize. We've got release the fear. Stop inventing scary stories about the future. Stay in the now and affirm your strengths. The trust, right? Notice the blue, the clouds, the sky on both of these cards. Now I know that trust is a scary word. for many of us, for a multitude of reasons. Whether it's trusting yourself, trusting that you know what to do or you know how to do something. But when that thought arises, I want you to really think about how many times have you let yourself down? How many times have you dropped the ball? You know, what were the circumstances? What was the situation? And if you feel that you dropped the ball or that situation didn't work out the way that you intended, what was the actual outcome? Was the actual outcome horrific? Was it terrible? Was it awful? Did you learn something from it? Did it take you to a different place? Like, what I'm trying to say is we assume that we can't put our trust in a situation, in a person, in ourselves. And oftentimes that is really unfounded. The truth is that we don't want to put our trust in it because we're afraid of it. And the more energy that you hold on to, keeping that away, right? Being afraid of something. We feel it's a coping mechanism, a defensive mechanism. And really what you're doing is stunting your growth. And I speak from personal experience when I say this. So try to be open, try to trust. Remember, knowledge is power. The more information you have, the better you are set up for success. All right, let's move to the tarot. So maybe you're like me. Maybe the thought of just getting quiet and allowing the thoughts to flow is scary in itself. And so you're like, nope, I can't do that. I don't know how to shut my mind off. And so you just put the whole exercise on the back burner. You have nothing to lose if you try. You never know, it might work out. You have everything to gain if it works. Imagine opening the lines of communication with yourself. You are your best friend. You are your best advocate. Nobody loves you, knows you, understands you better than you do. You don't have to be afraid to be alone with your thoughts. All right, let's throw some tarot cards. This is the Herb Crafter Tarot. Okay, that was me. Sorry. One more, please. There. Okay, thank you. All right, here we go. So our first card, the Eight of Earth, the Eight of Pentacles. Interesting energy. You know, this is working hard. This is mastering a skill. This is getting the job done, being focused, paying attention to the details. You know, no stone unturned. Next, we have the Page of Cups. This is all about your intuition. This is all about being open to an emotional experience, right? Really feeling the experience. Next, we have the Queen of Cups. Approaching this with a kind, loving, nurturing, compassionate, feeling heart. Next up, we have the Page of Earth. I love this card. This is the challenge position. This card is falling into the challenge position. This, quite simply put, is gathering the resources. You're getting ready. Getting ready to make a plan of action. Think of it as gathering, right? Our outcome card, the Chariot. The blending of the energies. Things moving quickly, things moving fast. Success. It's about willpower. Conquering a fear. Excuse me, on the bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Swords. Communication and truth. Being focused, being open, being logical, being strategic. A no-nonsense kind of approach. This implies to me that we start out with we want to do this, right? We want to be open. We want the lines of communication to allow the thoughts to flood in, right? But of course, we're human beings, and so we're feeling each of those thoughts, and the feelings are throwing us off. We're getting caught up in the upset or the emotion of the feeling, and that's totally normal and probably going to happen more times than not. The challenge is to not be afraid of the emotion of these thoughts. Perhaps it's the emotion that is keeping you from diving in, right? Because you're afraid to let those floodgates open. And I know from personal experience, I've been in that spot. Gathering the information, right? So we've learned something in this process. If our emotions are stopping us from doing this exercise, if our emotions are putting us in a feel before a think sort of position, there's something that we need to do to release that, right? To release the feeling of the thought, the feeling of the situation, the feeling of the person, so that we can move forward. And it's like once we get past that, once we get that understanding down, that methodology clear in our mind, and the plan comes together, and it's like, phew, there's no stopping us. pull a Crystal Intentions Oracle here. This is a crystal that could help you with this process, that could make you feel more confident, give you that little extra pep in your step. We've got the rutilated quartz. Look at how gorgeous that stone is. Isn't that beautiful? On the back side of the card, improve your energy levels and increase your life force. Maintain focus. Increase feelings of self-empowerment. Amplify your courage and your confidence. I love this. On the front side, it says, I am grateful that my vital life force provides me with the energy and motivation to live life to the fullest, because that's the goal. That's the goal of this exercise, right? To not let those thoughts, the ones we've been afraid of, the ones we've been unwilling to address, to figure out what they mean or how they're affecting us. It's like a literal stop sign right in front of you, and you've just slammed into it. And no matter what, you can't seem to figure out which direction to go. It's like a stunting of the growth, as it were, right? And we want to put our best foot forward. We want to be happy. We want to experience things. We want to be free from feeling restricted and confined. I let my anxiety hold me hostage for like 8 years. Because I believe everything I told myself. Believed all of my fears, and I let them hold on to me. All right, our last card. I mean, come on, friends, can't make it up. Look at that. Look at that outstanding image. And we've got a pathway to the sunlight, right? Begin. May you start as if you have already begun. So in other words, bring in that trust. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. Approach this like it's like riding a bike, right? Even though you haven't done it in years, once you sit on the seat, it all comes back to you. Amazing reading for this week. I hope that it helps. I hope it resonates in some way. I thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. It truly, truly means the world to me. Please don't forget to do all those important YouTube-y things by hitting the thumbs up, leaving a comment under the video, sharing the content with your friend, and of course, if you're new to Dozen Cats, welcome, and please consider subscribing. I will be back live Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we're doing September energy readings. And also be sure to look out for the Sunday Oracle message, which will be out early Sunday morning. Until we see each other again, I wish you many, many blessings. Mwah.